You have just mentioned these monies, and it would seem that we're at a loss as to what exactly you're talking about. And we do know that there is an investigation going on into arms purchase, but no one is aware of any monies that have been returned. Where did you get this information from? Because it's not on any mainstream media that I know.
Except I got that from Premium Times, another mainstream media. Are you saying that we should not believe the media again?
I haven't said that, Mr. Obla. I have only asked you the source, because when we talked about 100 days, just a moment, when we talked about 100 days, you said that there was no such document on any mainstream media, but now you're quoting figures that no one seems to have any idea of.
I have mentioned the Premium Times, it's the mainstream media, but the document you are talking about is not in any mainstream media. I want Channel is the mainstream media, confront me with that document. But I can confront you with the story I read in Premium Times that the panel that was set up by the National Security Advisor, that 13 ex-military chiefs who has bills to appear are beginning to return 1 trillion. So that is what I read.
Oh, they are bargaining. They haven't returned the 1 trillion.
If they are bargaining, that means they are on the verge of returning the money.
You just said they've returned it. I mean, that's what I was wondering, because if somebody has returned 1 trillion naira, by now we should be seeing, you know, perhaps something will be done with that money. People are still wondering why it's taken. By the way, we're in September. We're supposed to be saying the ministerial appointments. They've asked us to be patient. Your party has asked us to be patient. The government of the day has asked us to be patient. It's September. We haven't seen ministers. People are wondering, when can we begin to question the president on health, the state of the roads, the state of the universities? These are questions that Nigerians want to put to their president. When can we begin to do that?
Well, I don't know your question. You cannot ask a generalized question. You have to be specific. Confront me with a specific question. Otherwise,
okay. For instance, there's the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which quite a number of, which some people even call the economic artery of this country. Towards the end of the last administration, Julius Berger had been on that road, and I think LCC as well, repairing certain parts and reconstructing the road. But it would seem that all work has stopped. When can we begin to ask the president what is happening to that road?
Which road is that? The
Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
So you expect the road to be completed in 3 months? It is not possible. You know, the
road might not be completed in 3 months, but at least we should see the contractor who was working there to continue working there.
Road construction cannot go on during the rainy season, particularly in the southern part of the country where you have heavy rainfall. It cannot. It's not possible. So you don't expect a road that was abandoned by the last government to be completed by a new government in 3 months. 3 months, the government is still trying to settle down.
Are you aware of the state of the road at all?
Well, I've not traveled to Lagos on that road, so I don't know. Maybe if you have traveled...
That's why it's not very helpful if you're just making generalizations or excuses. If you don't know about the state of the road, then please don't offer any explanation, because a number of people will tell you that there was work going on that road.
Ask me about a road I'm familiar with.
How will I know what road you're familiar with? I don't ply the roads you ply. But the thing is this, Nigerians want to see development, and quite a number of them believe that they should have started seeing certain things done in certain areas by now. What can you tell us, for instance, about the hospitals, say the state of government or federal government owned hospitals? What can you tell us?
Well, I've said that, look, it is unrealistic to expect the government to fix everything in 3 months. It is unrealistic.
Can they start at least? Some people say the best way to get anything done is to start.
If you want to take on the government or APC, you must be realistic. You don't expect government to use 3 months. 3 months, 90 days. I mean, we are not magicians. The government is not a magician. Allow the government to settle down. Then, in 6 months, 1 year, then you can ask these questions. But now it is unrealistic. It is wishful thinking to think that we can do away with all these problems that were left behind for the past 16 years.
Mr. Obla,
like no road has been constructed in my part of the country for the past 16 years. There is no road from Calabar to Ogoja. There is no road from Calabar to Uyo. And you expect the APC government to fix that road in 3 months. I mean, please, you have to be fair to us.
Well, some people will say that perhaps you're not being fair in your response to us as well, because what we're doing is just asking questions in terms of when government itself will start looking at these roads, start looking at these hospitals, start, you know, there are people who have been complaining about the Port Harcourt is Owerri Road for a long time. People are spending 8 hours, as much as 8 hours on that particular stretch of road. And they're wondering, will they even get palliative measures? Is anybody even aware that this road is in such a shape? And it's a federal government owned road. These are questions that people want to know, and they're posing. Even if you say you cannot do it in 3 months, which nobody will be expecting you to do. But the thing is, when will you start work on these roads? That's the question.
In as much as all of us are anxious, I can tell you, I can't travel from Calabar to Goja. I can't travel from Calabar to Uyo. To travel from Calabar to Uyo is roughly 1 hour drive, but now you spend 4 hours. So I've been saying that you don't expect a government to address all these problems that are confronting this country in 3 months. Well, you have to be fair to us. You have to be realistic.
Well, Mr. Obla,
it's unrealistic to expect government to do that. The government is taking inventory, and government will go into action.
Let me bring this in.
Taking inventory of what was inherited from the last administration.
Mr. Obla, I think you should just once in a while. I know you're an activist, but just allow those questions coming so you can respond with the remaining time we have and make your points clearly. What would you say? I mean, it's clear the president was elected for a 4-year term. Everybody knows that. But there are many who say, they're commenting everywhere, that part of what galvanized them and part of what made them take that final decision to vote for the president was that document they saw titled "My Covenant with Nigerians." What would you say to them? I mean, yes, you've talked about the document that Singapore, even though you say you've not seen it, is what, let's get in clear terms, what would be your response to those of them who finally made up their minds to vote for the president based on that document titled "My Covenant with Nigerians"?
How do you expect me to speculate on a document the party has disowned? That the party says, look, we do not prepare that document because that document is unrealistic. We don't know the source of this document. We don't know the origin of this document.
You know, the thing is, I think everyone understands what you're saying, but the thing is that denial would have come during your electioneering campaign when a document surfaced in whatever media, you should have disowned it before the elections.
The social media is uncontrollable. It's not regulated like the media, the traditional media is regulated. The social media is not regulated. Anybody can go to the internet and write anything, and there's a lot of trash in the internet. A lot of trash in the internet.
Mr. Black, do you know
surface in the internet, and you are insisting that the party must, say, okay, this is our document, or the president must say, oh, this is my document.